So, in the fictional universe, what's the time period?
Well, the insurrection happened in 1807, exactly 100 years before my grandmother's birth. So I wanted to pay homage to her in that way, and she was alive when I started this whole thing. And so it goes from there to whenever Cross River ends. Most of my stories take place in the present day, and with the insurrection as sort of a backdrop. Yeah.
Anyone else?
Well, having spent so much time in that particular world, so what are you working on now? I mean, did you find it difficult to break away from that, or?
Wow, why do I have to break away? I'm not breaking away.
You're not breaking
No, everything I write is either gonna take place in Cross River or have some connection to Cross River.
Okay.
I feel like this is when I started this, I thought I was gonna have a recurring character that was gonna keep coming back. There's a character who's in both of my books. He's in the last story of each of the books. His name is Ken Sampson. And I thought that was going to be my character. I read a lot of Junot Diaz, and I was like, this is my Junior, right? He has this character who keeps coming back. But every time he comes onto the page, he minimizes himself. In the first book, the story I thought was going to be about him turned out to be about his father. And in this second book, I didn't think the story was about him, but then all of a sudden, the things that he said made more sense to go to another character, so I had to rewrite the scenes. And again, he's not in it as much as I thought. So what I realized is that Cross River is my recurring character. Cross River is my Junior.
Go ahead.
Well, about the Cross River metaphor, I wondered if you could say a little more about that, the meaning of it.
Well, when I started, I was inspired by the Haitian Revolution. In this country, we've never had a successful slave revolt. They were always put down for one reason or another. So I had the question of what if this happened here. It was kind of like a sadness that to me that it never was completed. That John Brown didn't win, or Nat Turner didn't win. It became like an alternate history. In reality, the Haitian Revolution inspired a lot of slave revolts in this country. The fact that they were able to be successful and to establish their country was the thing that made people feel like, hey, we could do that. So it's not that much of a stretch. I guess the stretch is that a place would be established. And so I used to say that, there couldn't be a Cross River, Mississippi, and so that's why I said it in Maryland. But I think of that sort of as like a failure of imagination. You can sell, in fiction, you can sell whatever. I can sell Cross River, Mississippi. I just have to write it in a way that would work.
Mm-hmm.